Hey guys, this is Landon Blake from Redefined Horizons. I want to answer these two questions for you today. What is a lot line adjustment? Why do you need one? Okay, and this video is specific to California, although most states in the United States have something like a lot line adjustment. So what is a lot line adjustment? It is a formal process in California that a surveyor goes through to adjust the location of a boundary line, right? So we're going to reconfigure a couple parcels. We're going to change their common boundary line. So what is the process that a land surveyor goes through here in California to complete a lot line adjustment? The very first thing we need to do is we need to do a boundary survey of both parcels. You don't always have to survey all of the parcels. I think that's a good idea. It's possible on a very large parcel that you might only have to survey one or two of the lines that are going to be adjusted. But as a general rule, you want to get a good boundary survey of both parcels. Then the land surveyor has to prepare a set of land descriptions or legal descriptions and plats. Okay, and we typically need the legal descriptions for the parcels before the adjustment, which we can usually pull from the vesting deeds. We need the descriptions of the property that's going to be transferred, right? So swap and property, right, to accomplish the lot line adjustment. And then we typically will be required by the agency to provide descriptions of the parcels after the lot line adjustment. So before, what's being swapped or transferred, and what the parcels look like after. So 3 sets of land description packages. And then most of the time, the jurisdiction is going to ask us for a site plan. And what they're going to want to see on the site plan, you're usually going to want to see a full topographic survey. Not doesn't have to be design quality, but they're going to want to see a topographic survey that shows the site features and the topography. And they're going to want to see the existing boundary lines and the proposed boundary lines. Why do they make us do that? They want to check for issues related to building setbacks, access, site access, utilities, and zoning. You know, they want to make sure you're not creating non-compliant parcels. And so the way they do that is with the site plan. So that's quite a bit of work now. If you think about it, it's not just a boundary survey. It's a boundary survey. It's a preparation of multiple sets of land descriptions, and it's a site plan, right, which requires a topographic survey as well. So why would you go spend all that money? Why would you need a lot line adjustment? So I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you might need a lot line adjustment. Number 1 is you've got an encroachment across the property line. So a house or a garage or another valuable improvement is built across the property line. Most of the time, people don't want to move those improvements. It's easier to move the boundary line between the 2 parcels. So we do that. We do lot line adjustments when we're going to remove an encroachment. You might be trying to reconfigure a boundary line to match some physical features. So, you know, you want the boundary line to match the center of the creek or the edge of the railroad right away or the top of the ridge. So a lot of times, not a lot of times, but there are times when parcels, when they're created, that the boundary lines aren't created in a manner that really makes sense for what's on the ground, you know. And so sometimes a client will come to us and say, you know, we really doesn't make sense to have the boundary line at the bottom of the cliff, and we want to move it to the top of the cliff or whatever. Okay, and then finally, the 3rd reason is sometimes you do a lot line adjustment because you're trying to make a substandard lot compliant with the zoning, right? Usually it's a minimum acreage requirement, although it could be a frontage or a setback requirement. But oftentimes it makes sense for a client. You know, let's say they've got a 19-acre parcel, but if they had a 20-acre parcel, they could split it into 4. So there's a 5-acre minimum. And so sometimes they'll get an acre of unused land from the neighbor through a lot line adjustment. Now they've got a parcel that they can subdivide into 4 pieces. That's an example. Okay, so now you know what's a lot line adjustment. It's a formal process that a land surveyor goes through to reconfigure the boundary lines between 1 or more parcels. What's the process? Got to do a boundary survey. Got to prepare a site plan. Got to prepare multiple sets of land descriptions. Why do you need it? You're removing an encroachment. You're trying to match boundaries to on-the-ground features, or you're trying to meet some kind of minimum area setback or frontage requirement as part of the land planning process. Now you know what a lot line adjustment is. Thanks for watching.